Virtual day number 36, May 8th. All right, guys, this is our last unit that you have to get through before you are done with what we are doing with Math 3, with all of the crap that is Corona. So I'm here for you. Let me know what you need. This is a really important unit, though. So please, please, please work to your fullest potential. Special right triangles. So right triangles are called special right triangles if they are a 30, 60, 90 triangle. That means they have a 90-degree angle, a 30-degree angle, and a 60-degree angle. Or a 45, 45, 90 triangle, 90-degree angle and two 45-degree angles. They follow this rule. The short leg is always x, so whatever our value of our short leg is, you can find your hypotenuse by doubling it for 30, 60, 90, and you can find your long leg by taking that short leg and multiplying it by the square root of 3. So we are just going to use this rule. The way that I remember it, because there's a different rule for 45, 45, 90 triangles, is the 30 uses the square root of 3. Okay, so if you can remember that, then maybe that will help you with this. And the 45, 45, 90 has two 45 angles, and you're going to use the square root of 3. So we'll look at that in a second. So we have our right angle, we have our 60-degree angle. That means our other angle must be 30 degrees. Something that's important to remember is that your smallest angle is going to be across from your smallest side. And your biggest angle is going to be across from your biggest side. Hence, the right angle is always your 90 across from your hypotenuse, right? That's your longest side. So that's one way to tell if you're not sure, if it doesn't look right. If this is our 60-degree angle, then that's our long leg. If this is our 30-degree angle, then this is 8 is our short leg. So since we have our short leg is 8, our hypotenuse is going to be twice that. So it's going to be 2 times 8, which is 16. And our long leg is going to be our short leg times the square root of 3. So it's going to be 8 root. Now we're going to leave these in terms of the square root of 3 because of the nature of this unit. With using our unit circle, which is what we're doing next, it's really important to have exact values. Please do not round the square root of 3. This one. We have 1/2, and that's our short leg because it's across from 30. So we're going to double that to find our hypotenuse. 1/2 times 2 is 1. And our long leg is going to be our short leg times the square root of 3. So we have 1/2 root 3, which is root 3 over. I'm just going to circle our values here. Number 3, our short leg is 14. So we're doubling that for our hypotenuse. 28. And we're taking our short leg and multiplying it by the square root of 3 to find our long leg. So 14 root 3. When you are given the short leg, that's going to be obviously the easiest way to find your leg length. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little more about one more short leg, and then we're going to look when we're given the long leg. When you're given the short leg, you take that, multiply it by 2 to find your hypotenuse. So 12 times 2 is 24. Multiply it by the square root of 3 to find your long leg. Now, when you're given your long leg, it's the second easiest way to do it. So your long, oh no, just kidding. That's when you're given your hypotenuse. Your long leg is going to be your short leg times the square root of 3. So we can say that this 12 equals our x. Now to find our x value, we have to divide by that square root of 3. A really important piece of information, you cannot leave a radical on the denominator. So when you have x equals 12 over 3, you have to do what's called rationalizing that denominator to get the radical out of the denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3. Now, anything over itself is 1, so we're just multiplying it by 1, but making it look a little bit different. So then you have 12 root 3 over the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 3 times 3, which is the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. Then we just simplify. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we get x equals 4 root 3. Now that we have our short leg times the square root of 3 is our long leg, so you can go back and check that if you'd like. Or you take our short leg and you double it, so you're multiplying it by 2 to find our hypotenuse. The next one. Same situation, we are given our long leg. Our long leg is our short leg. If you divide it, you get x equals 8. So multiply by root 3. You get 8 root 3 over 3. 8/3 does not simplify, so the x is going to equal 8 root 3 over 3. Now we take that short leg, multiply it by 2 to find our hypotenuse. So we have 2 times 8 root 3 over 3. This is the same thing as 2 over 1. So when you multiply fractions, multiply straight across. So 2 times 8 is 16. You have 16 root 3 on top. 1 times 3 is 3 on the denominator. 16/3 does not simplify. So that is your answer. Number 7. This time you are given your hypotenuse. This is the second easiest. So when you're given the long leg, it's the hardest way. When you're given the short leg, that's the easiest way. When you're given the hypotenuse, that's the medium way. The hypotenuse, remember, is twice your short leg. So this is going to be 2x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And you get x equals 11 over 2. I'm leaving that as a fraction because it looks nicer with a radical than the 5.5. You could also say 5.5, but I'm going to leave it as a fraction. So then I take this and my short leg and I multiply it by root 3 to find my long leg. So I have 11 over 2 times the square root of 3, which is 11 root 3 over 2. Number 8, I'm given my hypotenuse again. So I take my hypotenuse, and remember that's equal to twice my short leg, so I just divide it by 2. So x equals 3. And then take your short leg and multiply it by the square root of 3. Find your long leg, and you get 3 root 3. This one, even though it looks like a triangle, we've got this perpendicular line here. So that makes this a right triangle with a 60-degree angle. And we have that right angle there. So that makes that 30 degrees. X is your short leg. So to find the length of x, we have our hypotenuse. We just divide it by 2. So if 16 is 2x, divide both sides by 2, x is 8. And then take our short leg, multiply it by the square root of 3 to find our long leg, and we get 8 root. Couple of applications. An equilateral triangle has a side length of 10 inches. If it's an equilateral triangle, that means all 3 sides are congruent to each other and all 3 angles are congruent. So we have a side length of 10 inches. If all 3 angles are congruent, remember the sum of the angles in a triangle are 180 degrees. So 180 divided by 3, all of these are 60-degree angles. It says find the length of the triangle's altitude. Altitude is a perpendicular from the vertex of one perpendicular to the other side. So because this is an equilateral triangle, it drops that perpendicular and it becomes a bisector. Altitude is not something that's covered in Math 3. It's one of those triangle segments like we talked about before. But because of this, that makes this one half of that, which is 5. So now we have this triangle from the one we just started with. We have 5, we have a 60-degree here, we have 10 there. So that makes this one 30 degrees. This is 5, so our short leg is 5. Our hypotenuse is 10, so 5 times 2, that works, is 10. And then our altitude, our long leg, is going to be our short leg times the square root of 3. So this one is going to be 5 root 3. This one is a little different. This time it gives us the altitude. So we start with our equilateral. We know that our altitude here is 18 inches. Know that these are the same, and that this is a 60-degree angle. So find the length of a side. So one of the sides here. So I'm going to find one. I'm going to find that value here. So I have this triangle here derived from that one. We have our long leg is 18. This is our 60-degree angle. We want to know our hypotenuse. So to find our short leg, this is what we're going to find here. I'm going to call that A. Our long leg is equal to our short leg times the square root of 3. So A root 3. Divide both sides by root 3. And you have A equals 18 over root 3. Rationalize, so get that radical out of our denominator. You have 18 root 3 over 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So you have 6 root 3 for A. To find the length of the hypotenuse here, remember that's twice this one, so x is going to equal 2 times 2 times 6 is 12 root 3. Feel free to stop and process. We're going to go ahead and move on to our special right triangles 45, 45, 90. So this is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles means it has 2 sides and 2 angles under it. An isosceles right triangle has 2 45-degree angles in our right angle. Because our angles are congruent, then that means these legs are also congruent. So what we've got is a leg, which is x, or whatever our leg value is. To find our hypotenuse, we're going to take our leg and multiply it by the square root of 2. So this is going to be x root 2. So 45, 45, 90 has 2 of the same angles, and it uses this, or 2 of the same sides, excuse me, and 2 of the same angles, and it uses the square root of 2. Our 30, 60, 90 triangle has a 30 in it, and it's going to use the square root of 3. That's kind of how I remember what to do there. So find the value of x in each triangle. I'm just going to find all my missing sides. When I'm given a leg, know that because 45, 45, 90, both legs are congruent, and then my hypotenuse there is going to be my leg times the square root of 2, so 8 root 2. Number 2, x here, because this is a 45, 45, 90, those are congruent. X is 14. Y is 14 root 2. And you can always use the Pythagorean theorem to check yourself here. That applies to all right triangles. Here I have a square. When a square, because we know it's a square because all 4 sides are marked congruent and all 4 angles are marked right. So that diagonal creates a 45, 45, 90 triangle. These two are congruent, so this is 18. Find our diagonal of our square. Root 2. When we're given our hypotenuse, find our value of x, remember that our hypotenuse is equal to x times the square root of 2, or to one of our legs times the square root of 2. We're going to do the same thing we did with the square root of 2. We have x equals 18 over root 2. Rationalize, so this time I'm multiplying by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. I get 18 root 2 over 2 times 2 is 4, so that's the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 9 root 2 for number 4. Number 5, Same situation, different number. So I have that is going to equal our leg times the square root of 2. Divide both sides by the square root of 2. You have x equals 8 over root 2. Rationalize. You have 8 root 2 over 2. 8 over 2 is 4. Number 6 is the same as number 3, except for this time I'm given the diagonal. So 10 is going to equal x root 2, or our side length times the square root of 2. Divide both sides by the square root of 2. X equals 10 over root 2. Rationalize. You have 10 root 2 over 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5 root 2. Number 7, the perimeter of a square is 48 meters. Find the length of the diagonal. Perimeter, remember, is the sum of all the sides. So we have our square like this. If the sum of all the sides of a square is 48, that's side plus side plus side plus side. So we have 4s equals 48, if these are all s. Divide those sides by 4, you get s equals 12. We want to find the length of the diagonal, so that derives this triangle here. This is a right triangle. These are congruent. We have 12 and 12. That makes these angles 45 each. So what is the length of the diagonal? Of 45, 45, 90, you take your side, multiply it by the square root of 2. So my diagonal is going to be 12 root 2. Same thing for number 8. I'm going to use the same diagram instead of drawing another one. The perimeter of this one is 20. So 4 times my side equals 20. Divide both sides by 4. And this time you get your side is equal to 5 instead of 12. So I get this triangle. And I need to find the length of my diagonal, which is my side times the square root of 2. Mixed review here, 45, 45, 90 triangles. This one is, we have our hypotenuse, so we're going to take that is going to equal x times the square root of 2. Divide both sides by the square root of 2, and you get 7 over root 2. Rationalize, multiply by root 2 over root 2. And you have 7 root 2 over 2. That's going to be x and y, because this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Number 10, 45, 45, 90, we're given one of the legs. So that means our other leg has to be congruent. And our hypotenuse is our leg times the square root of 2. Same thing for number 11, our other leg has to be congruent. And our hypotenuse is our leg times the square root of 2. Last 3 here, we have 30, 60, 90 triangles. This one, we have our long leg. So our long leg is equal to our short leg times the square root of 3. Divide by the square root of 3. You have x equals 20 over root 3. Rationalize. 20 root 3 over 3. 20 is not divisible by 3, so that is just how we're going to leave it. And then our hypotenuse is twice our short leg. So that's going to equal 2 times 20 root 3 over 3. 2 times 20 is 40, so we have 40 root 3 over 3. This one we have our hypotenuse. Remember, your hypotenuse is twice your short leg. So if you divide those by 2, you get x is 10. And your long leg is your short leg times the square root of 3. And then number 14, we're given our short leg. So to find our hypotenuse, we multiply that by 2. We get 40. And to find our long leg, we multiply our short leg by the square root of 3. And that's it. Y'all let me know if you have questions. Hope you have an awesome day.